Hello, and welcome to the Those Dweebs podcast, where we have a little bit of everything for everyone. Let's roll the d20 of fate and see what we are talking about today. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode. It's been a minute again. I am going to be pushing myself to actually sit down and record these episodes for you. So I might do a batch at a time, but I'm super excited to announce that Michelle and I are going to be going on a brand new adventure this weekend. We're going to be going to a book convention called Dreaming Dirty in Michigan, and I'm so excited. This is going to be our first time attending a book convention, and who knows, if I'm feeling ambitious, I will bring the stuff with us. If not, I might, whenever we finally get back to the house after the weekend's over, I'll, bring all this stuff out and we can sit down, talk about it, talk about likes, dislikes, if we'll go to another one, and what all we got while we were there. And obviously, we're going to try to get into maybe a mini vlog if possible. Depends on how many people, how bad our anxiety is, all that fun stuff. But another awesome thing to clear before I get into this episode is that we are at 892 downloads, and I'm just blown away because I haven't recorded since the St. Patrick's Day episode because life has just been chaos incarnate. And to see that still going up means the absolute world to me. I'm gonna try and do better now. I have a stack of research topics to talk about. So yeah, I'm super stoked, and let's get right into this episode because it's one that's been really fascinating to me since I saw it. And that is the Casket Girls, which, going into it, I knew very little about, and I know I'm going to mess up some of the words ahead of time, so I'm so sorry. But the first time I ever heard anything about the Casket Girls was an episode of The Originals, because it takes place down in New Orleans, and I don't know, something about it always just fascinated me. And so I wanted to talk about it here because I feel like it's not as known as some of the other, well-known celebrations down in New Orleans, like Mardi Gras. But yeah, let's get right into it. The colonialization of Louisiana. In 1682, French explorer René Robert Cavelier and Sieur de la Salle claimed the Mississippi River basin for France, naming it Louisiana in honor of King Louis XIV. The French established New Orleans in 1718, which became the capital of the Louisiana Territory. This area was seen as a potential wealth generator due to its strategic location for trade and agriculture. However, from its inception, the colony faced significant challenges, particularly a severe gender imbalance. By the early 1700s, the population consisted primordially of men, including soldiers, traders, and indentured servants. The imbalance stifled the colony's growth and posed social challenges, as a stable society requires family units to thrive. The French Crown's intervention. To rectify the situation, the French government under King Louis XIV decided to send women to the colony in 1719. In 1719, the decision was made to dispatch a group of young women primarily from orphanages and charitable institutions in France to serve as brides for the male colonists. This initiative was part of a broader strategy to promote the establishment of families and stabilize the population in Louisiana. The recruitment of Casket Girls. The women selected to become Casket Girls were typically between the ages of 14 and 20. Many were orphans, abandoned children, and from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, making them vulnerable to exploitation. The recruitment process often involved local parish priests or charitable organizations which could seek out suitable candidates. Characteristics of the Casket Girls. The Casket Girls were described as young, attractive, and often educated, particularly in the basics of domestic life. They were sometimes referred to as, filles à la cassette, girls with a casket, emphasizing the unique role they played in the colonialization effort. The caskets they brought contained personal belongings, clothing, and sometimes items that could serve as a dowry, symbolizing their potential as wives. The journey to Louisiana. The voyage from France to Louisiana was a perilous journey. The women traveled aboard ships that were often overcrowded and unsanitary, with limited provisions. The long journey could last anywhere from 6 weeks to several months, exposing the women to diseases such as smallpox and yellow fever. Life on board. Conditions aboard these ships were challenging. Women faced the risk of illness and the trauma of separation from their families and homeland. Despite the grim circumstances, many women maintained hope for a better future in the New World. The journey often forged bonds among the women as they shared experiences and supported each other during the voyage. Arrival in New Orleans. Upon arrival in New Orleans, the Casket Girls were met with both excitement and apprehension. Colonial officials organized receptions to introduce the women to the local men, many of whom were eager to marry. The reception and marriage process. The reception often included public events where the women were presented as potential brides. The local men would compete for their attention, and marriages were typically arranged swiftly. The dowry and status of the men were significant factors in determining who would marry whom. Some women found loving partnerships while others entered into pragmatic arrangements based on economic necessity. Challenges faced by the Casket Girls. Cultural adjustments. The transitions from France to Louisiana were profound. The women had to adapt to a new language, customs, and climate. Many faced isolation as they adjusted to their new lives in a foreign land. Social and economic struggles. The women often faced significant challenges related to poverty. Many husbands were poor or landless, and the women had to work hard to support their families, contributing to agriculture and household tasks. Domestic life. Casket Girls quickly transitioned into domestic roles, managing households and raising children. They often faced the realities of colonial life, including the risk of violence either from their husbands or the harsh living conditions. And health issues. The early years of the colony were marked by disease and hardship. Many women suffered from illnesses that were common in the 18th century, and marital mortality rates were high. Contributions to Louisiana society. Establishing families. Next page. The arrival of the Casket Girls significantly contributed to the establishment of family units in Louisiana. Their marriages led to the birth of children, helping to create a more stable and diverse population. Over time, these families formed the foundation of the Creole culture that would define New Orleans. Cultural influences. The Casket Girls brought with them various cultural practices, including culinary traditions, religious customs, and social norms. This infusion of French culture blended with indigenous and African influences resulted in a rich Creole culture. Culinary impact. The women introduced French cooking techniques and recipes, which merged with local ingredients and traditions. This blending created distinctive dishes that remain popular in Louisiana cuisine today. And religious practices. The Casket Girls were primarily Catholic, and their faith played a crucial role in the development of community life. They participated in the establishment of churches and religious institutions, further solidifying the social structure of colonial Louisiana. The folklore and mythology. Over the centuries, the story of the Casket Girls has taken a mythological quality. Local legends suggest that some of the women may have been cursed or their spirits lingered to the caskets they carried. These tales often reflected broader themes of sacrifice, loss, and the struggles faced by women in colonial context. Cultural legacy. The narrative of the Casket Girls resonates in the contemporary Louisiana. Their contributions to the state's cultural identity were celebrated in festivals, historical sites, and educational programs. The complexities of their experiences have also inspired various artistic expressions, including literature, music, and visual arts, ensuring that their legacy continues to be recognized and appreciated. In conclusion, the Casket Girls represent a compelling intersection of gender, colonialism, and cultural development in the early history of Louisiana. Their journeys highlight the resilience, and strength of women who faced immense challenges in pursuit of a better life. The legacy of the Casket Girls is not only seen in the families that they helped establish, but also in the rich tapestry of Louisiana's culture, which continues to thrive and evolve today. Their stories is a reminder of the often overlooked contribution of women in shaping history and society. Now, when I was first watching this in the originals, and obviously that is a work of fiction, but just reading that and remembering back to what I was watching is they did take a more fictional approach to it, but they also, stuck to a lot of the history when it revolves around it, and just the sacrifices these girls had to make, and just reading all of that and learning about it is a very interesting point in history that I don't feel enough people talk about. And I feel it is super important, especially in the times that we're in nowadays. But that is another point for another time. I hope you all enjoyed this so very much. Please remember to go and follow us wherever you get your podcast. We are on all platforms. Give us a follow, give us a rating. It definitely helps out the channel. Share with your friends. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. All right. Bye, guys.